what, for those who don't know the Carnival Band, there might be one or two out there. What would be different about hearing and taking part in the band singing a typical sort of Charles Wesley hymn, and from how you might experience that in a church service on a Sunday morning?
Well, I think one of the things that people would notice immediately was probably the sort of speed at which we sing and play. We tend to do things at a slightly faster tempo than they get done today, and that's because we're looking very much to the way that music was played generally in the 18th century. It was kind of lighter and faster and with more energy. And then what happened was that the Victorians came along and they made it rather serious. So it all slowed down and got rather solemn. And so we're sort of going back over the heads of the Victorians and going back to the 18th century. I mean, the 18th century was an amazingly rumbustious and exciting period. I mean, there were highwaymen and cut purses, and then the prostitutes in Gin Lane, and there was public hangings, and there were beggars on the streets, and there were wars, and there was, dismembered soldiers begging in the streets. It was a rough, dirty, crude type of age, and this was before Victorian refinement. They really they really lived life to the full in the 18th century, and I think that comes across hopefully in the way that we play the music. It's kind of a bit rough and ready perhaps compared with the polished performances of Victorian times, but we like it that way.
Excellent. So do I. You don't have a reeded instrument or something kicking about there in the background? You could give us a quick
a reeded instrument
or some such.
I can. Let me see what I can get off the shelves. Sorry, I'm wasn't prepared for this really. Can you see it? Can you see it all right?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Is that good?
What is it?
Okay, well this is a shawm, and there's the reed at the end. Mm-hmm. So it's got its finger holes, and then we've got this sort of flared bell at the end, so very trumpet-like. And this was a typical instrument played by town musicians in the 17th century and in earlier times. By the 18th century, it tended to be replaced by the oboe, and it's of that family. But in the 17th century, it was a very sort of typical thing. Let's see if I can play a few notes.
Excellent. Brilliant, fantastic. Well, a thunderous applause and all that. Well, Andy, thanks for that. It's been good talking to you this morning, and looking forward to seeing you on the 20th.